Remember, if you want to get the top picks on market calls sent to your inbox, it's really simple to sign up. Each night we'll send out top picks and analysis from our experts on the show and on Market Call tonight. You go to bnn.ca/subscribe to get the newsletter. You'll also get Marty Say's sagacious commentary on the market-moving stories every morning. Here's an email from Graham in White Rock, BC. Caneco Resources. What's your outlook? The drill results showed a lot of potential, but now with the share price continuing to fall on volume, it makes me wonder, are there problems with the property?
The only problem with that property is that you can't drill it fast enough. The results continue to be outstanding from the project. There are no problems with it. It's purely a function of general market conditions. And like I said earlier, the valuations that you see on a lot of these companies have absolutely nothing to do, especially in the case where they're going to production, of the value of the enterprise going forward. So in terms of Caneco, I think it's absolutely, especially at this level, is now really a buy.
Where is their main play?
Mogambazi in Tanzania.
And they're looking for gold?
Yes, they've discovered quite a bit of gold at this point.
Sure.
And they're continuing to drill, and that deposit will just get bigger.
Is that like Barrick's Tanzanian mine? Is it a similar kind of geology?
Barrick has a mine, it's similar geology. I mean, it's African greenstone belts, but it's not that close to Barrick.
And what about social problems? Are they likely to encounter resistance from local people?
Absolutely not. The local people are only too happy to go to work for them because as artisanal miners, they eke out a subsistence living, whereas as an employee of a large mining corporation, they got all the things that they can look forward to while working for a large corporation.
But in Barrick's case, it seems local people have been taking ore.
Yes, well, there's always going to be opportunistic surface sort of mining that doesn't necessarily interfere with the operations of big mining companies. Occasionally it becomes a problem, and really it's a function of relationships with the communities for the company to solve those issues and do so in a way that's socially acceptable, morally acceptable. There's, especially Barrick is always under a magnifying glass, and so they've cleaned up their act just out of necessity.
Well, there's been quite a bit of violence associated with them in Tanzania and Indonesia, though.
Yeah, that's true. There's a history of violence associated with mining, throughout the history of mining, and for one good reason. I mean, you're taking something valuable out of the ground and converting it into wealth. So there's always going to be conflict surrounding mines.
We have a caller from Vancouver. Mark, go ahead, Mark.
Hey, James, big fan of the Midas letter. Made a lot of money off of your picks. One of them I've done well on is Edgewater Exploration. You called it Redback Mining Junior. I just want to know what your thoughts are with it being here at 54 cents.
At 54 cents, without sounding too enthusiastic, it's a steal. They've got 1.5 million ounces of gold in Spain. If there was ever a country that needed a gold mine to go into production today, it is Spain. They've grown that resource 400% since Edgewater acquired it. They've got $10 million in cash. They're going to release a preliminary economic study in the next 2 to 3 weeks, which I think is going to blow some minds. It's got a $30 million market cap at these levels, and it's so valued at roughly $15 an ounce in the ground. That's Spain. Then they're earning 51% interest in the Enchi deposit through Kinross, which is a 49% partner in the deposit. Edgewater will be the operator of the project. Kinross owns 5% of the equity in Edgewater, and so again, what more do you need to know? There's 3 drills turning in Africa, 4 drills going in Spain.
We have Steve on the line from Toronto. Go ahead, Steve.
Yes, just wondering about your thoughts on Gold Canyon up there in the Red Lake area.
Oh, well, Gold Canyon's one I've been following, and I've been holding that stock. We hold it in the fund. I think, in fact, I had a call with the manager this morning. I think he's still buying it, especially when it's beat up in this kind of market. But that spring pole deposit, I mean, we're still waiting on a resource calculation, but it's expected to be substantial. And I think when market conditions stabilize sometime in the next 20 years, you're going to see the valuation return to these stocks. And a company like Gold Canyon that's just got spectacular 100-meter plus intercepts of 1 to 3 to 4 to 5 grams per ton gold all over the place, it's going to be a winner.
Okay, we've got an email from Steve, and Steve writes, what do you think of Sunridge Energy and its new technology?
Well, Sunridge Energy has acquired a technology. It's not a new technology. It's an old technology, but it has not often been applied to the oil sands. And essentially what this technology does is, historically, you are not permitted to extract the oil in the first, I believe it's 150 meters of the oil sands, because extracting the liquids will destabilize that top surface of the surface. So they don't permit that. This technology, what it does is they sink a bunch of rods into the ground, which are then heated up with 6-phase power, which causes the oil to liquefy in place, and then they drill a hole right in the middle of it, and they gather in the oil to this gathering point. And so it's a relatively inexpensive technology to deploy. So they're not actually landholders in the oil sands, but they've got a technology that they can bring to bear on all of the oil sands in a layer that is currently unexploited. And they can do it in a very environmentally friendly way. And this technology has been used historically to clean up Superfund toxic waste sites, and it recovers up to 98% of whatever it is they're trying to get in the ground.
Good stuff. Coming up, we're going to get to the top picks of James West from Midas Letter Opportunity Fund.